I'm really disappointed in the quality of these tiles that we ran into for this job. Hello, welcome to Tile Coach. I'm Isaac Ostrom. Thanks for being here. Today I'm on a job site and we've been having issues with these tiles. So these tiles are an Italian porcelain tile, which usually means a really high quality. So Italian porcelain they were one of the first to come out with the technology for the porcelain tiles that we use today. They usually have better screen printing, just better quality all around. But I'm really disappointed in the quality of these tiles that we ran into for this job. And I got a call from Steve on the first day when they were laying out. He's like, Isaac, we got a problem. Like 25% of the tiles that we're using are bent, they're warped, and when I put them on a straight edge, there's like a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch gap in a bow. So these tiles are like curved. So check this out, I'll show you what we're talking about. So I have these tiles laid up against a straight edge, and you can see here, if we go in the middle here, we have almost an 1/8 inch at the tip here. We're tight here, 1/8 inch here, and then another 1/8 inch down here. So we have this big bow in each of the tiles, and then when you try to line up the next tile, look at this. Here's our 1/8 inch again. And no matter what I do with this one, we still end up with these nasty little bows. So these tiles are just, again, Italian tile, and the guys are having to sort through them all to pick out the straightest ones to make work, which they've done a fabulous job doing. If you look at the floor, they've kind of flipped and turned, and these tiles do have a direction arrow, but you can't follow the direction, because if you do, you'll end up with some really bad inconsistencies. So they're just having to kind of flip the tiles around to make them work. We're going with a random stagger, which seems to help. So, you know, we're doing a random offset so we can kind of see which one works the best. But with these tiles, I was really disappointed to see how bent these are. And again, maybe you guys out there, the installers, I'm sure you've run into this before, where the customer wants like a really tight grout joint, and you open up the box of tiles and you see they're all crooked and bent and everything, and there's no way to get a tight grout joint with that. So this factory actually recommends using a 3mm grout joint, which is a little under an 1/8 inch. So there has to be play in between the tiles, and you have to lay things out, flip them around, make everything work, but it's causing a ton of extra time for the installers to go through everything and make that happen. If these tiles were just straight, which a lot of these are, most of the ones we get, the tiles are straight. Sometimes you get a cup sometimes you get a cup going this way in the tiles, but it's really rare that you get them bent like this. The cups are a pain to work with too, but usually you can count on a tile being straight, and these definitely are not straight. Okay, so wood plank porcelain is really popular. We use it a lot. One of the nice things about it is it transitions well to existing tile. So this is the existing tile that was in this house here, and this is probably 20 years old. That's the age of the house. It's probably original, 13 by 13. It's probably an Italian porcelain also. But as you can see, when the wood porcelain comes up to it, it's a really nice transition. Doesn't look like you're trying to match the existing tile or kind of a mismatch, because it looks like wood. So that's why we use it a lot. It looks great, it looks like wood, but it doesn't scratch. You can get it wet. It's pretty much indestructible. So, but here's what I wanted to talk about. So this is the box of tile. It's the Savoia factory from Italy. As you can see, 100% made in Italy. They do give recommendations on the stagger and the grout width. So 3 millimeter grout joint is what they recommend, which comes out to just about an 1/8 inch, maybe under an 1/8 inch. So they want you to use an 1/8 inch grout joint. So again, if your customer wants you to use like a 1/16 or even tighter, you need to be able to tell them, hey, the factory recommends that we only do an 1/8 inch. You can't go any tighter than that. That's gonna help allow for all of that play that we're finding in these tiles. The second thing to know, and this is really important, is the stagger that they're recommending. So they're only recommending between a 6 and a 10 centimeter offset from each of the tiles. So that equates to 2.5 inches, about 2.5 inches to about 4 inches. So they don't want these tiles to go any more of a stagger than 2 to 4 inches. So at no point so that's probably about 4 inches. That's actually 5. So they're saying they don't want any more of a stagger than between 6 and 10 centimeters. I think that's what it's saying. And that's ridiculous. I mean, that's like no stagger at all. A lot of people want a 50%, something like that. I would say a third of a stagger is probably one of the most popular. But going between 2 inches is right there. That would look so weird. Here's 4. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I'm reading here. Maybe it has it in every language. Oh wait, no. Place 6 to 10 centimeters apart, one next to another. And that's what I'm reading there. 6 and 10 centimeters. That's the grout joint width. And that's the stagger. Distance 6 to 10 centimeter. No. Place 6 to 10 centimeters apart, one next to another. So that's like I mean, if anybody were to see this, if my homeowner, if I would have told them this before we bought the tile and I said, hey, to stick with what they recommend, they want between 2 and 4 inches of a stagger, there's no way they would go for that. They would say no. So, you know, this factory here, you know, maybe this is just literature that's going to get them out of warranty claims. That's probably what it is, because they probably run into them all the time where the installer calls up the rep and is like, what the hell, man, these tiles are so bowed, I can't even work with them. Come look, the floor looks all wavy. And then they say, oh, well, you know, on the box it says, you know, between 2 and 4, and you have a 50% or a third stagger. So, you know, this is just one of those things, you know, they stick it on the installer, and that's kind of what we're stuck with. That's one of the reasons why I make these videos, is to make people aware of what's going on. And this doesn't just happen with tile manufacturers. This also happens with our setting materials, our waterproofing materials, where these manufacturers almost have built-in loopholes to get themselves out of warranty claims, which is really crappy. So we need a voice for us installers, and I'm hoping that these videos do that for you. So anyways, this was just a quick little video I wanted to show you, help you out if you've run into these problems. If you have, leave a comment in the section below. Let's share this information to help one another. Again, this video isn't meant to just criticize anyone, it's to help the installers out there. So thanks for being here. Make sure to watch the next video coming up. If you like this one, you like that one too. And I love you guys. I love being your tile coach, and we'll see you on the next video.